In tonight's Retaking America segment, we go to Wisconsin, where Republican Senator Ron Johnson is running for re-election against Mandela Barnes. And Republican Tim Michels is trying to unseat Democrat Governor Tony Evers. Now, remarkably, the Real Clear Politics polling average puts Michels and Evers at an exact tie, 47.8% each. Now, one of the top issues in Wisconsin is crime, arguably even more so than in other states. Johnson and Michels have both made it a touchstone of their campaigns. And it kind of makes sense because in Milwaukee, carjackings are up 29% year to date since 2020, homicides 23%, and non-fatal shootings 22%. The most striking number, though, was motor vehicle thefts, spiking 119%. And you wouldn't moments that before Michels' event in Milwaukee today, this happened.
Just across the street right here is the car where my producer was parked. You can see glass on the ground. Someone threw a brick through the window. You can see the brick there, shattered the glass. Another person got inside and tried to hotwire the vehicle and drive away with it.
Joining me now is Tim Michels, Republican candidate for Wisconsin governor. Tim, I guess this doesn't surprise you, but it kind of surprised us a little bit because we were just there to do a job.
Yeah, Laura, it's shocking what happened. I was endorsed by the Milwaukee Firefighters Association. We were standing in front of a firehouse. I had firefighters behind me. Every TV station in Milwaukee was there, print media, and cameramen. And these guys were emboldened enough to drive up right across the street, and they smashed the window and they tried to hotwire the car. And what's shocking is that they were undeterred by all this presence of media and cameramen, and they just went ahead with it. They're so skilled at what they do. And I don't mean that in a complimentary way. I mean it in a concerning way. That they don't care if they're going to get caught, and that's the problem that's happening here in Milwaukee. We have one car theft every hour of every day, 365 days a year, and they typically go for Kias because they can hotwire them. And a journalist tracked these guys down and said, "Why do you do it?" And they said, "Because we'll get away with it." And that's the problem that we have with our governor here in Wisconsin. He's coddling criminals. We need to stand firm on crime. It's the cornerstone of my campaign. It's resonating because people want safer communities. They want their families to be safe, and they want their property to be safe.
Now, Governor Evers was asked about this rampant crime issue in Wisconsin this week. Watch what he said.
If we just grab one thing and say, okay, if we do this differently, suddenly it's not an issue. It will be an issue. So I think it's an opportunity for us to have all hands on deck conversation about what criminal justice looks like.
What is an all hands on deck conversation about what criminal justice looks like? What does that mean, Tim?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to interpret that for you, Laura, but it's nonsensical. We have a weak leader in Governor Evers, and people are ready for a change. They know that crime is up, inflation is up. They know that their 401ks are down, that test scores in schools are down. Governor Evers has been a weak leader for the past 4 years, from COVID to Kenosha. I've been a strong leader my entire life. 12 years on active duty in the U.S. Army as an airborne ranger, and for the past 25 years helping lead our company where we grew it from a few hundred to over 8,000 today. That's the type of success that people want for their state, and they want to know that the governor is going to stand strong with law enforcement and bring crime down. Governor Evers, he wants to coddle criminals. This might be the most shocking thing. He made a campaign pledge 4 years ago to cut in half the prison population here in Wisconsin. And he's well on his way to doing it. He's released over 1,000 convicted felons. About 300 of them are murderers, attempted murderers. Some of them are cop killers. And very shockingly, is 44 of them are child rapists. They're on the streets today in Wisconsin. Governor Evers wants to release thousands more. It's not good for the state. It's not good for our communities or our neighborhoods.
Just very, very quickly, how important is it to have people who are running states, and even in federal office, to know what it's like to make a payroll in a challenging time? Yeah. How important is that?
You know, I think this entire election cycle is going to be about the biggest picture of all. Do we want to have more people with real-life experience, businessmen, who know how to make payroll and have created jobs, not just talk about it? Or do we want to have career politicians running all aspects of government?
No,
I think it's one of the reasons that we got to where we are today.
Tim, we got to roll, but it is absolutely right. Real-world experience,
All right, thanks,
not lifetime politicians. Tim Michels, thank you, and good luck.